Hey everybody, welcome back to A Beautiful Ride. This is Sam. It's been about a month, and I did say I would be keeping to my monthly uploads. I kind of downloaded, I uploaded 3 in a row. I was on a momentum, and then things get busy, but I'm keeping to my month at minimum. And we will see if that we get any more videos out, which we probably will, because as of today, one of my housemates got COVID, and most likely it will be me as well, but if not, luckily I still have to isolate for 10 days, so plans are being cancelled and I will be indoors for a while, coming up to Christmas. So today, let me get the exact quote: if you're not happy, it's time to change something. So this should be a brief video. This really points to a very obvious point, but sometimes people forget is, when we are really unhappy, and it's not just in a case of a couple of days, but we feel like over months, it is a very constant theme of low mood, low self-esteem, anxiety, even depression, and just generally things aren't good. The real thing there is, of course, whatever's going on in your life is obviously your environment, as well is making yourself, as well as yourself, feel this way. And I think sometimes, because it can be such an overwhelming feeling, we find it hard to take a step back and realise the very simple thing of, if the way I'm living life at the moment is making me feel this unhappy, then I have to change something, and I can't expect it just to get better by doing things or thinking things in the same way I have done, because doing things and thinking things in a certain way that you've done has led you to this point, right? And there may be certain events in your life that kind of exacerbated that, but the environment you put yourself in, the mindset that you have, and the practices you do day to day very much have an impact on whether you're happy or not, and how unhappy you are. And so I think sometimes it just takes it takes the ability just to take some time and think, what am I doing in my life that is making me really unhappy? If I'm honest about it, there might be things that you're saying I need to do, and they are more of a priority than actually how it makes me feel. And you think, this is just good that I have to do it, and it's in the long run I have to do it. But then you think about, what are you sacrificing? How you are kind of mentally degrading yourself, and how you might undermine the very thing which you think is a priority. And you kind of deprioritize how unhappy you are or the way you feel. And trust me, whatever it is, whether it's career, relationships, or whatever, if you always prioritize that above your mental health, and you think that you won't see the consequences, or also you think those things will survive even when you're in such a bad mental state, I think you have to realize that is a mistake. Because let's say it's career, and you're accelerating your career so fast, but your mental health is deteriorating just as fast. You might push yourself to the point where you can't deal with yourself anymore, and you are no longer happy, and ultimately all of that work that you've done in your career is completely undermined because you no longer can function. If you are feeling that way, that is what the emotion of unhappiness is, and all the other negative emotions. It is your mind and your body telling you that what you are doing in life is clearly unbalanced, and if you don't do something about it, then there are going to be serious consequences, and they should not be underestimated, and sometimes kind of just even life changing and life ruining. It's almost like if you have a rash on your body, or if you have a cut and you think, oh, it's just going to take too much time, and like, oh, or no, let's say, like you have a cut and it's like, oh, I'm playing tennis but I have this cut, but I don't have time to kind of rest it up and sacrifice a couple of weeks of tennis because the tennis is too important. So you leave the cut, and then it festers and it gets infected and it starts to spread through your leg, and you continue to ignore it until the point where actually it means that you can't even use your leg anymore, and you can't even play tennis, or you can't do any sport. And so you leave it for long enough, you try and ignore it, and sometimes because we're so focused on the other thing, we kind of don't even realise how bad the situation's got. We haven't actually ever looked down and realised, oh my God, it's that infected. Oh my God, I'm this unhappy, or life is this crap. And it's too late. It's too late, and it sets you back way further than you think of, oh, let me just power through. So yeah, you need to be aware of it and listen to your mind and your body when it's telling you those things. Just like when you're unhappy, it's telling you, well, then there's clearly something wrong. Just like when you have an infection and there's pain, it's telling you something wrong. And if you don't do something about it, it will get worse, and that pain will get worse. And so then actually the changing part, you kind of sit and you think, okay, what is making me thus unhappy? What stuff am I doing today that is stupid, that I know is not right, that I know my conscience is telling me day and day that I feel guilt for? And what kind of mindsets do I have? Like, maybe I'm being too judgmental. Maybe I'm being too close-minded. Maybe I'm kind of being too pessimistic about things. And like, I'm being too cynical, or I'm not kind of pushing myself, or I'm kind of like, let's say, example, I'm getting more and more accustomed to being alone and not doing things with people because I just can't be asked. But actually I realise if I really think about it and I'm honest with myself, that makes me unhappier. So maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should suspend with some short-term discomfort of trying to socialise again and try and put my life together again. So that in the long term I can benefit mentally, and everything else in my life, work, family, job, purpose, is rewarded. Because when you're in a better mindset, everything you want to achieve is a lot more feasible than if you're in a bad mindset. Because trust me, you try and do things in your life while you're really in an unhappy place, and things are crappy and you're constantly anxious and stuff like that, your ability to be able to do all these things is vastly diminished, and sometimes near impossible, and you'll certainly break yourself. So yeah, sometimes just a simple thing of like, I've been unhappy for months. Recognize I'm unhappy, and don't expect it just to get better. If you want it to get better, you have to change something fundamentally, whether that's the way that you think about things, whether that's your environment, like maybe like even small things like, I've not had a good diet, so I need to make sure I'm eating better, or I know I'm unhappy when I don't exercise, so let's do that, or the house I live in isn't that great, so actually let's like try and find a better place rather than keep putting it off, because I know that will make me feel happier. Or like when I'm feeling alone, I know that it doesn't make me feel so good, and even though loneliness can become quite a good friend, I can't kid myself, and I know the importance of friends. I'm a human, and I need to be able to spend time with people I love, because no one, even the most isolated, introverted person ever, can do without other people. Your mental health will suffer. It's just a fact. So yeah, it's a very simple message. If you feel unhappy, and if life doesn't feel like it's going good, you have to change something, and don't expect it to get better if you don't change something. Whether it's your environment or whatever, you've got to change something, because the current way of how you're living life will not provide you with what you want, because it's currently providing you with the unhappiness that you feel. I hope you guys have a good and beautiful day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.